Alright, hey everybody. So there's quite a bit I want to mention in regards to Joe Biden and how he became president-elect, but I want to bring up his past deaths of his family, including his wife Nelia Hunter and daughter Naomi and son Beau Biden. So that's really what this whole video will be about, is just the connections on how they kind of aligned with November 7th, the day that he was, named president-elect, and quite a few other things. But I mean, when you apply the Gematria, the practice of coding letters into numbers, I mean, it's like without a question that this is definitely the way that the elite run things in this world. So if you're new here, check out Zachary K. Hubbard on Gematria Effect News, his YouTube channel. And that's where my eyes were definitely wide open after discovering all his work. So just to get started, we know Joe Biden's birthday is November 20th, and last year, 2019, his birthday to the day that he was announced president-elect was 353 days after his birthday. And what definitely stood out about that 353 is when I went back to my notes that I've been gathering, because I've done a lot of research on Nelia and Naomi, the two that died in a car accident in 1972, the same year that Biden was running to be the senator of Delaware. They died on December 18th, and December 18th was also a leap year in 1972. And so December 18th is the 353rd day of the year, like what tied with how he was almost on his 353rd day of his age when he won the presidential elect. And 353 has interesting comparison with the number 71, because 71 is the prime number of 353, and we know the word Catholic equals 71 and many others, but I'll get there in a minute. But even when you run out family blood sacrifice in Gematria equals 353, and again, that was the same day that his wife and daughter died in a car accident. And what is also kind of interesting, when you write out Joseph Biden Jr. without his middle name, you'll get 216 and 72, just like when you write out a car accident in the same cipher, 216 and 72. And again, this event took place in 1972 when his wife and daughter passed. So quite a relation there, tying in the 353. And when you take the prime number 71, again, like Catholic equals 71, Nelia Hunter has the 71. And I know I wrote out daughter Naomi, but I mean, that's kind of the phrase we kind of know her most by. But I wanted to show you the overlap with Nelia Hunter in 3 out of the 4 ciphers, 136, 64, and 71. And staying on that 71 connection, his little nickname that he has, Creepy Joe Biden. So we've heard, I don't know how many times on the media, or especially on Facebook, people who are against Democrats and all that, you'll often see Creepy Joe Biden, which also equals 71 and has that 136. So in my opinion, when it comes to Creepy Joe Biden and how that even fits with the alignment by the numbers, like, really, is that Joe Biden really being himself whenever he's being a little, like, however you want to call it, perverted or child molester, or any word you want to use to describe Joe Biden and his little creepiness towards young kids? Is that really him being himself, or is that just what he's told to do, right? Because the way I look at it, I feel like we don't even know the real people, in my opinion. I feel like they're putting out who they are supposed to portray. But I can't say for sure because I don't know these people, but that's just kind of my take. And then before I get to 136, I just remind you guys how the Democratic Convention this year began on August 17th, which was the day that left 136 days left in the year, 136 being an important number in this presidency because that is the 16th triangular number. And one thing that we've been following all year, or since Joe Biden became a nominee, is that he could possibly be the 16th Democratic president if he were elected, which looks like that he will be put in office. 16th Democratic president also has that 136 connection. Again, like August 17th, how many days left in the year? But then you go back up to daughter Naomi and Nelia Hunter, both equal 136. Creepy Joe Biden, 136. Beau Biden, his late son, his full name, Joseph Robinette Biden III, 136. And the reason I put in Wilmington is because Wilmington is the place that Beau Biden is buried, and the same place that Nelia and Naomi were in their car accident. Also has that 136 connection. And you can see here that on Nelia Hunter's biography here, died in Wilmington, Delaware. And that's also, I pulled up this article because I seen it yesterday, that Biden went to visit his son's grave after Sunday Mass. And you can see that it's located in Wilmington, and again up here. But really what stood out too is, because news, they put out things like, if you don't know Gematria, you don't see what they're coding. So all you had to do is take Beau Biden's full name, like I just showed you, equals 136, and Wilmington equals 136. And look what Sunday Mass equals, 136. So of course they put in the headline that Joe Biden went to go visit the graveyard in Wilmington after Sunday Mass. And again, because we know he's a Catholic, or supposedly he's Catholic. However, I know there's people who debate that, and we know that he is now, said to be the second Catholic president to be, and this should be ingrained in most of your guys' heads by now if you follow Zach's channel, or any of us on Facebook or whatever. We've been talking about constantly about Catholic equaling 35 and 46. Joe Biden is the 46th president to be, and he's Catholic. The first Catholic president we had was JFK, the 35th president who died at age 46. I mean, so much to go on about there. But just seeing all this connection with 353 and 71 and 136, I don't know how you could come over here and deny that these all aren't linked together. And even when you write out 46 in word form, you get 136 for another one, and you also get 46, which makes sense, but I mean, still, it's crazy how it all aligns. And speaking of 46, remember Beau Biden died at the age of 46, and if you were actually to take the day that he died, his anniversary death this year, May 30th, 2020, to the day that Biden was announced president-elect on November 7th. It was 161 days later. And the reason I left this up here, 16th Democratic president has that 161 number as well. So I mean, pretty fitting for that. And then even when you write out President Joseph Robinette Biden equals 161. And then I also included, not only was it 161 days, it's also exactly 23 weeks, which isn't like huge, but if you notice that Beau Biden's birthday is 2/3, kind of like 23. And then also he was the former Attorney General of Delaware, and Attorney General of Delaware equals 117, a lot like the date. Biden was announced the president-elect, 11/7, November 7th. And then also, if you wanted to include from Beau Biden's birthday, the same year that he died, 2015, to his actual death date, May 30th, 2015, was a span of 117 days after his birthday, which means he died on his 117th day of his age. So, I mean, quite a connection, just, November 7th, that's all I see here, and why it makes sense that he died on that particular day, which, is pretty disgusting. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Nelia Hunter, his late wife. Her birthday was on July 28th, just to point that out. July 28th, her anniversary birthday to November 7th this year was 103 days. Or, okay, so 46 present equals 103, but also I noticed 14 weeks, 5 days, kind of like 145. And again, the word Catholic has that 145 connection. But, I mean, there's just so many ways of reading it, but so much is encoded. Or you can say 3 months, 11 days, kind of like flipped 11/3, election day. But then do remember too that that's just back 48 years ago in 1972, whenever Biden was running to become the senator of Delaware. That's the day that he was also elected, and he won the race to become senator on November 7th, 1972. So exactly 48 years ago, which is interesting, because Delaware, if I can spell it, Delaware equals 48. So how perfect, and all these events that happen with Biden and Delaware and his family and him becoming the senator of Delaware. I mean, it's definitely an important number to remember. 48 years ago, Delaware equals 48. So then if you want to take election day this year and run it to the anniversary death of Nelia and Naomi, they died on December 18th, 1972, but their anniversary date this year, it's a span of 46 days. And again, like 46, he's the 46th president. I mean, isn't that just so sickening? But there's definitely a relation there. And then I just wanted to throw out Naomi has the 52 in her name, and how president equals 52. And if you look at it, however you look at it, they died December 18, 1972, which isn't exactly 48 years ago. It's 47, kind of like how president still equals 47. And then one thing, I was trying to find her birthday a while back, and this is the only place I could find it. It was just like in an article. Naomi Christina Biden was born on November 8th, like 118, and in the Jewish cipher, death equals 118. But, I mean, isn't that wild how it's just like one day off from the day that he gets elected in both in Delaware and here in the U.S. for president? So, and then one other thing I did want to point out about Naomi, and how they all point out mostly that she was 13 months. December 18th, the day that they, were in their car accident, is the day that leaves 13 days left in the year, December 18th. So, I mean, makes it even more fitting for the 13-month-old to also die on that day. And then getting towards the end here, again, whenever you write out 16th Democratic President, you get 136 and 161, but you also get 325, which is, a big number when it comes to Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. But if you were to take the day that Naomi died, right, December 18, 1972, and ran it to her upcoming birthday, she died 325 days before her upcoming birthday. So another fitting number with 16th Democratic President and the ties with Beau Biden and his death to the November 7th this year, 161. So you get it both with the kids. And then lastly, I just wanted to remind that the day that Naomi and Nelia died in 1972 to the day that Biden actually took office as the senator of Delaware on January 3rd. You can see that here. It was 16 days later. And again, like how today, that's really relevant because he is now to be the 16th Democratic president. So that was mostly all I wanted to point out, was just all those undeniable points, in my opinion, of how everything, all these deaths had a big thing to do with where he is now and where he's been in, his past 47 years, right? And then one other thing I do want to point out, because I don't know if many people, I've left it in a comment, I know, on Zach's page a while back, whenever we were talking about Kamala Harris, her birthday, which I can point out to you. Let's see. Her birthday is on October 20th, right here, and how this was the 59th presidential election, and all the 59s that related to her, and she got announced, to be the VP nominee or VP candidate on August 11th, which looks like 118, and that was a date numerology of 59, and it was 59 days after Trump's birthday. Well, I wanted to show you that her birthday was perfectly in tune as well with the death of Nelia and Naomi's anniversary death, because if you were to run that was also 59 days. So I think I will just leave it there, and thanks for watching. See ya.